higher the promised returns, the more you want to do in real research.
Imagine spending decades working hard, sacrificing weekends, skipping luxuries, and saving diligently, only to wake up one morning after 60 and realize your life savings have disappeared.
I was stunned, I was hurt, and I was mad.
Not because of a global market crash, not because of bad luck, but because of mistakes that almost anyone could make if they are not aware.
I grew up on a farm. Nobody there instructed any of us to put money aside and make your own way later on down the road.
It sounds terrifying, but this is exactly what happens to thousands of people every year. Today, we are diving deep into the shocking truth about how people lose their life savings after 60.
Scary. What do we want the politicians in D.C. to know? This is our life.
Are you afraid of what might happen?
It's stressing, wondering what's going to happen.
And real scenarios that prove this is happening right now. Turning 60 is often seen as a time of reward. The kids are grown, the mortgage is paid, and retirement is either here or just around the corner. You might think that at this stage, financial mistakes are behind you, but the truth is far more alarming. People over 60 are uniquely vulnerable because they have large sums saved, less time to recover from losses, and often face complex financial decisions involving retirement accounts, investments, healthcare, and estate planning. And unfortunately, a single misstep can turn a lifetime of effort into a financial nightmare. One of the most common ways people lose their savings is through trusting the wrong financial advisors. After 60, many individuals rely heavily on advice from brokers, planners, or even friends and family. Sometimes, these advisors push high commission products or investments that are risky but promise short-term gains. Consider the case of a 62-year-old retiree who was convinced to move her conservative savings into a high-risk annuity promising guaranteed returns. Within 2 years, fees, penalties, and market losses consumed nearly half of her life savings. She had been told it was safe because she was told is a guaranteed product. This is one of the cruelest traps because it looks legitimate on paper, but it erodes wealth silently. Another silent killer is fraud. After 60, people often become targets for scams that prey on their accumulated wealth and trusting nature. From fake investment schemes to fraudulent real estate deals, scammers know that older adults are seeking security and are often less familiar with modern digital finance. One real scenario involved a retired couple who invested their entire nest egg into what seemed like a legitimate gold investment through online brokers. Within months, the company disappeared, along with all their money. Sadly, scams like this are growing more sophisticated every year, making vigilance and verification essential. Healthcare is another massive factor. Many retirees underestimate the real cost of medical care in their 60s and 70s. Even with insurance, co-pays, premiums, and long-term care can drain accounts faster than anyone anticipates. One man aged 65 retired with a $2 million portfolio, confident that it would last for decades. After a single unexpected medical event and a 6-month hospital stay, his life savings were cut by nearly 40%. Many people fail to plan for long-term care costs, assuming Medicare or insurance will cover everything. The truth is, medical bills are one of the leading causes of lost savings among retirees. Market risk is often underestimated as well. People over 60 may assume their investments are safe if they have been consistent with stocks, mutual funds, or retirement accounts. But the reality is that volatility can strike at the worst time. One scenario involved a couple whose retirement was planned around the stock market performing steadily. When a sudden market downturn hit just after they retired, their portfolio lost a third of its value in months. Unlike younger investors, they did not have decades to recover, and withdrawals for living expenses forced them to sell at a loss. This is why risk management and diversification become critical after 60. Overconfidence can also be a silent destroyer. Many retirees believe that decades of investing experience protect them from mistakes. They might think I have been managing money for 40 years. Nothing can go wrong now. But overconfidence often leads to ignoring risks or failing to adapt to changing economic conditions. Interest rates, inflation, taxes, and new investment vehicles all shift over time. What worked in the 1980s or 1990s may be dangerous in 2026. One woman aged 68 refused to move her investments from outdated products, convinced that her strategy was foolproof. A combination of inflation and underperforming assets quietly eroded her wealth over a decade. Debt is another hidden threat. Many people assume that after 60, they are debt-free, but that is not always the case. Some carry mortgages, personal loans, or even business debts into retirement. While the interest rates may seem manageable, compounding debt can quietly drain savings, especially if unexpected expenses arise. One retiree took out a reverse mortgage thinking it was risk-free. He quickly discovered hidden fees, rising interest, and a reduction in his inheritance, leaving him with far less than he anticipated. Failing to plan for taxes can also destroy wealth. Retirement accounts like IRAs and 401s may have tax consequences that retirees do not fully understand. One real example involves a man who withdrew his entire retirement account at once, unaware of the tax implications. The resulting tax bill took nearly half of his money, leaving him with barely enough for day-to-day expenses. Strategic tax planning, staggered withdrawals, and understanding capital gains are not just helpful, they are critical to preserving savings. Emotional spending is a less obvious but very real problem. After a lifetime of restraint, some retirees finally feel free to spend, travel, or gift money generously. While there is nothing wrong with enjoying your life, overindulgence without a plan can quickly erode a nest egg. A 70-year-old widow spent lavishly on gifts and vacations over 5 years, believing her pension and savings would be enough. When unexpected healthcare costs appeared, she discovered her remaining savings were insufficient to cover even basic needs. Family pressure can also be devastating. Many retirees face situations where adult children or relatives expect financial help, loans, or gifts. While helping loved ones is noble, doing so without planning can drain decades of savings. One scenario involved a retiree who funded multiple family businesses, believing it was temporary support. Within a few years, most of his savings were gone, leaving him dependent on Social Security for survival. Real estate mistakes are another danger. Many retirees believe their home is a safe investment, only to face declining property values, high maintenance costs, or difficulty selling when needed. Some invest heavily in additional properties for rental income, only to encounter vacancies, tenant defaults, or rising taxes. One couple in their mid-60s invested heavily in vacation rentals assuming continuous bookings. A combination of market changes and economic slowdown left them with properties that lost value and drained cash flow, wiping out a large portion of their retirement funds. Another silent risk is ignoring estate planning. Without proper wills, trusts, or beneficiary designations, retirees may leave their money vulnerable to unnecessary taxes, legal battles, or mismanagement. A real case involved a man who passed away unexpectedly without updating his estate plan. His life savings went through probate, legal fees, and disputes, leaving heirs with only a fraction of what he had intended. Estate planning is not just about inheritance, it is about protecting your assets while you are alive and ensuring smooth transfer after death. Even financial technology, which seems convenient, can be risky if used without understanding. Many retirees rely on online banking apps or digital platforms for investment and savings. Cybersecurity threats, phishing scams, and simple mistakes can result in losses that are difficult to recover. One man in his early 60s lost tens of thousands after falling for a sophisticated online scam, thinking he was securely transferring money between accounts. A surprisingly common mistake is failing to adapt to changing economic conditions. Many retirees keep money in low-interest accounts, thinking they are secure. Inflation, interest rate changes, and market dynamics mean that money sitting idle loses value over time. A retiree who kept her savings in traditional bank accounts for security ended up with much less purchasing power than she had expected, effectively losing money without making any risky moves at all. Even what appears to be conservative investing can be dangerous if not adjusted for retirement. Bonds and annuities. Fixed income products may seem safe, but if interest rates rise, inflation increases, or fees are high, the actual returns may not meet expectations. One scenario involved a 66-year-old man who relied entirely on bonds for retirement income. Rising inflation eroded his purchasing power, and fixed payments were insufficient to cover living expenses. Here is the real truth. Losing life savings after 60 is not usually a result of a single catastrophic event. It is the accumulation of small mistakes, poor planning, overconfidence, emotional decisions, and a failure to adapt to changing realities. Many retirees wake up decades after saving, surprised that their nest egg is far smaller than expected, even though they never made any dramatic errors. And here is the most important part. Share this knowledge. People over 60 are the fastest growing targets for scams, poor advice, and financial missteps. Helping someone understand these dangers could protect decades of hard work and possibly even their home or healthcare security. If this video has opened your eyes, make sure to subscribe to the Wealth After 50, hit the notification bell, and share this video. Someone you know could be on the brink of making a mistake that costs them everything, and this knowledge might just save them. Leave a comment below if any of these scenarios shocked you the most. Trust me, you are not alone. Many people over 60 face these dangers without even realizing it. Your life savings are not just numbers in an account. They are years of hard work, dreams, and security. Protecting them is not just smart, it is essential. Take action now, make informed choices, and ensure that your retirement is everything you worked for and nothing less.